Welcome to Thái Nguyên News. I'm Việt Cường. Today's headlines. Thái Nguyên provincial leaders welcome the delegation from Luang Prabang province, Laos PDR. Song Kong Tao mobilized nearly 59.5 billion Vietnam dong to build new rural areas. Spratly and Paracel Islands landmark Vietnamese soul. On November 19th, the delegation from Luang Prabang province, Laos PDR, headed by Mr. Sai Samon, Deputy Provincial Governor, visited and worked in Thái Nguyên province. On behalf of Thái Nguyên provincial leaders, Mr. Dương Ngọc Long, Chairman of Thái Nguyên Provincial People's Committee, welcomed the delegation. At the meeting, Mr. Dương Ngọc Long briefed the delegates on the socio-economic development, investment and cooperation of Thái Nguyên province, emphasizing on the achievements across many areas. At the same time, the chairman also expressed his desire to strengthen and promote the multi-dimensional cooperation between Thái Nguyên province and Luang Prabang in particular and Laos PDR in general. During the meeting, Mr. Long gave an introduction on Thái Nguyên tea and the cultural activities of the second tea festival Thái Nguyên Vietnam 2013. Mr. Sai Samon, Deputy Governor of Luang Prabang province, thanked the warm hospitality of Thái Nguyên province and briefly introduced Luang Prabang province. Typically being a mountainous province and the old capital of 1,000-year history of Lao PDR, Luang Prabang province has many favorable conditions for economic development in agriculture and tourism. However, the province still faces many difficulties in socio-economic development. Therefore, the Deputy Provincial Governor hoped that Thái Nguyên and Luang Prabang will tighten cooperation in many fields in the future. After more than 2 years of implementing the new rural development program, Song Kong Town is now focusing on mobilizing resources for investment on rural infrastructure construction. To date, the town has raised nearly 59.5 billion Vietnam dong. The four communes of Vĩnh Sơn, Bình Sơn, Ba Xuyên and Tân Quang have become more prosperous after 2 years of implementation. Social and economic infrastructure continues to grow. By the end of November 2013, Bình Sơn commune will have satisfied 11 of the 19 criteria, Vĩnh Sơn 12, and Tân Quang commune 6 of the 19 criteria. As a result of this 2-year implementation of the new rural development program, Song Kong Town has mobilized nearly 59.5 billion Vietnam dong for building rural infrastructure. The mobilized fund includes 573 million Vietnam dong of the National Target Program on building new rural areas, other National Target Program funds of 23 billion Vietnam dong, 5.7 billion Vietnam dong from the provincial budget, 23.5 billion Vietnam dong from the town's budget, 29 million Vietnam dong from the communal budget, and 7.6 billion Vietnam dong from the people's contribution. In addition, the communal authorities have encouraged local people to donate over 4.6 hectares of land. Currently, the town is preparing a plan for capital allocation and cement provision for the local commune. The communes have finalized the land clearance and are gathering materials for construction this November. In this program, we would like to send you the first part of the report series called Spratly and Paracel Islands, the landmark of the Vietnamese soul. Starting the report will be the general introductions on location and historical development of the Spratly and Paracel Islands, the two sacred archipelagos of the country, where the army and the people stand on guard day and night to defend the Vietnam's sovereignty over the two archipelagos.
Lying on the center of the East Sea, Vietnam enjoyed great opportunities for trade expansion and socio-economic development on the one hand, but also faces big challenges in the course of national maritime sovereignty protection. With more than 3,260 kilometers of coastline running from north to south and thousands of big and small islands, including the two archipelagos of Hoàng Sa, Trường Sa, the sea and islands of this country have been part and parcel of the cause of national defense and building of the Vietnamese people throughout many centuries. From the 10th century AD, Vietnam formally gained back her independence, and from then on, successive Vietnamese feudal courts tried their best to protect the nation's boundaries, coastlines and islands, taking it as one of the most important and sacred tasks. Since the time of the Lý, Trần and Lê dynasties, stretching out to the high sea and protecting the islands were the key components of the national development strategy on their move southwards. Historical records strongly confirm that at least from the 17th century AD, the Nguyen dynasty had already established sovereignty over and effectively exploited the two archipelagos of Hoàng Sa and Trường Sa when these areas were still terra nullius, or land not belonging to any country. Apart from conducting production on the two archipelagos, the Vietnamese feudal courts also ensure that Vietnamese and foreign ships passing by the waters here enjoy good safety. These activities show the real unceasing and peaceful exercise of sovereign rights over the archipelagos of Hoàng Sa and Trường Sa by the Vietnamese feudal state in accordance with the international laws of the time. The Kingdom of Đại Việt history of southwards expansion from the kings of the Lê dynasty, the laws of the Trịnh and the Nguyen, as well as the Nguyen dynasty 1802-1945, was an unceasing process. In 1628, a civil war broke out between the two lords of the Trịnh and the Nguyen, leading to a division of the country, with the Trịnh lords in the north and the Nguyen lords retreating to the south. Under the Nguyen lords, the navy was strongly developed, marked by the great victory over the Dutch warships in 1644 at the mouth of Giang River. Throughout history, the forefathers of this nation have overcome so many hardships and tests to get to the islands of Hoàng Sa and Trường Sa to broaden the country's boundary.
And now let's take a look at some other news. Over 1,800 hectares of rice have been grown in Sông Công town, 448 hectares of which are late crop rice. The main type is still Bao Thai. This year's late crop rice is developing well, promising better yield than the previous one, and is estimated at 380 kilograms per hectare, due to timely cultivation and proper use of pesticide recommended by agricultural experts. To date, in favorable weather condition, 50% of the crop in town has been harvested, and the rest will be finished before November 15, 2013. This means that the next winter crop can be cultivated on time. Along with technical solutions and good seeds and winter crop production acceleration, Sông Công Town People's Committee also directed its specialized agencies to organize the professional training courses on farming techniques and procedures for its farmers. The farmers in its communes and wards have been encouraged to achieve their targeted crop areas for 2013.
On November 12, Vietcombank Vietnam officially opened its branch at 10 August Revolution Road, Thái Nguyên City. This was its 84th branch and the 25th financial credit institution in Thái Nguyên Province. At the opening ceremony, Thái Nguyên provincial leaders congratulated the branch representative with flowers and promised to make the best conditions for the branch to operate legally and effectively, getting on well with the other credit institutions in the province, to get the trust from clients and eventually contribute to the development of the province.
On November 8, 2013, Thái Nguyên University of Education held a solemn master's degree commencement for 251 candidates in 20 majors of course 19. Over 90% were graded at good level and above after 2 years of studying, researching, and practicing. Speaking at the ceremony, the university's board of presidents congratulated the master's degree holders and would like them to apply the best of what they had learned in the past 2 years in developing their hometown. In return, the graduates' representative also expressed their thankfulness and deep gratitude to the sacrifices and hard work of their teachers and promised to realize what they had been expected to do so as to meet the increasing requirements of the society. And that's all we have for today. Thanks for joining us. Goodbye.